have that. Michelle, are you
Yes,
still
I'm
on?
recording. Yeah, I'm recording.
Oh, you are. Perfect. Thanks. Okay. So let me hop back over. So again, welcome to our event this evening. This is just going to be a quick information call from us, your fellows. We are the 4 that are kind of leading the charge in Florida this year. It used to be 2 of them, and now it's grown to 4. So we've just grown so much, and we are excited that you guys are all here and ready to learn how to be a part of this awesome community. So again, I am excited if you are here, whether you are a returning MIE expert or if you've maybe taken some time off and are now coming back to the community, or if this is brand new for you. We've really streamlined the process this year, so it's going to be super easy for everyone, no matter kind of which of those places that you're at. So I also want to share that you're going to see throughout our presentation is that we've really started this year to try to brand our cohort of Florida. And it's really funny. We have, if you are in our cohort this year, you know we've been saying all year that we have 91 of us right now in Florida, and Georgia is just above us in the triple digits. And so we've been having this like competition back to back and on a mission this year to really grow Florida and show that we can kind of stand alone as our own place down here and really have that group of educators that are continuing to grow and support one another. So you'll see that hashtag that we have used. That's also going to be connected to our event tomorrow night. We're having a Twitter chat, so it's a great time to just dabble in Twitter chats. If this is new to you, it's going to be super simple, 30 minutes, 2 or 3 questions. And we're going to use that hashtag, and I'm going to share more about that later. So you may have seen this graphic in some of the things that was shared. And really, the information I'm going to share with you tonight is applicable no matter what state that you're in, but really as that community and as us 4 cohorts, which I'll introduce everyone here in just a minute, we're really excited to just grow our own. And by that, I mean, we're in Florida. We all know kind of different things that are going on that may be different in other states. So it's also a great place to share standards-based lessons and great things that are applicable just to educators in Florida. So if you're here from a different state, welcome. We're happy to have you. But again, we have that specific hashtag that we're trying to brand our Florida cohort with. So this is really just a slide showing you kind of, if any of this pertains to you, then you are in the right place. So tonight what we're going to do is just spend a little bit kind of familiarizing yourself with the MIE program, what it means to be an MIE expert, and how that can provide benefits to you in the future next school year and with your career and your instruction with students. We're going to talk also about what that process is to actually apply and become part of that community, and I'm going to share some tips along the way as well. And then I'll share some resources at the end that I have for you, and I wrap it up with any Q&A. And then you can, after we end this call, you're welcome to come back to this chat and keep any questions you have going, or you'll see our social media things as we go where you can reach out to any of us as well. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to monitor the chat as best as I can. I'll glance at it. So just let me know if you have any questions. So first, we're going to kind of start at the beginning on what a Microsoft Innovative Educator is. So the acronym you may hear us refer to is MIE. Oh, and actually, thank you for putting that in the chat. So before I move on, let's just kind of get a glimpse of who we have here. So if you would, in the chat, let me know what school district that you're from or what city that you're from. Go ahead and stick that in the chat because I'm excited to see where we're all coming from. I've seen a lot of you guys sharing on Twitter, so I'm really excited to see how far our reach has been. So I see Miami-Dade, Duval, Broward, St. Lucie, Hillsborough. Woohoo! That's me. I'm from Hillsborough. Broward, St. Lucie, Jacksonville, Duval. Awesome. Broward. I would love to hear even too how you even heard about this. Did somebody share it with you? Did you see it on social media? Very cool. We've got some private schools. Awesome. This is so exciting. St. Lucie. Very, very cool. I'm so glad to hear that people shared it with you. Pinellas County. How exciting. Very, very neat. Keep sharing where you're from. Keep sharing where you're from in the chat if you haven't. I'd love to hear that. So we're going to move on and again, start at that beginning. So what is an MIE, a Microsoft Innovative Educator? So that MIE program is really a group of global educators who are excited and passionate about using technology in their classroom and also kind of being that trendsetter, paving the way for your peers, knowing that your end result and your end goal is to better that learning experience for students. So utilizing a variety of programs, we know especially in our time and what we've gone through the past year, we've had to find ways to implement digital technology. So really embracing all that you guys have worked so hard for this past year and turning that into what you need to kind of become a part of this amazing community. So I know all of you guys have the different assets that you need to be a part of this program. So with an MIE, and many of you may already be this, the Microsoft uses a platform called the Microsoft Educator Center. And I'm going to talk more about this in a slide coming up, but this is a center, a place online, a website where you can log into, you can take free self-paced on-demand courses at any time on different Microsoft technologies, whether it's Flipgrid, OneNote, all those kind of great things. Even dyslexia, there's just some amazing, it's really transpired into something amazing to get access to some resources. So the first step that you'll need to do is create an account or log into your account, which if you have your Microsoft login credentials, that's what you use, depending upon your district, what that is. And you'll create that account. You'll join. Once you join and set up your account, again, using your Microsoft credentials, you can go in there and take a course or two, or some of you may already have this, but when you take courses inside of that Microsoft Educator Center, you earn points by taking the quiz at the end of those courses. So there's a lot of courses, a majority of them are about an hour, or they say recommended time an hour, and you'll get 500 points. So that equals 2 courses would get you to that 1,000 points, which would then get you this badge inside of that Microsoft Educator Center. So once you continue to go through this Microsoft program, you'll earn different badges as a way to keep track of your progress. So once you become an MIE expert, you'll get a badge. Once you become a Microsoft Showcase School, you get a badge. And you also get badges as you take different courses in the MEC. So if there's learning paths, it again marks your kind of tracks your progress along the way and is something that you can showcase on social media and on your other platforms as well. So to get to that Microsoft Educator Center, you're going to go to this website. This is one that usually will, once you become in this program, it'll kind of become ingrained in your mind. But this is also good to bookmark. As you can see right here at the top, once you log in, you can look for different training opportunities. You can even look for lesson plans that have been submitted by other educators. You can look for different products and resources, all kinds of great stuff in this platform. So if you haven't logged in, you'll go to the top right-hand corner and click sign in, and then you'll choose sign in with Microsoft, and then whatever that specific login is for your district. So for example, mine, it's our employee number, at our district credentials. So I'm going to take just a minute and show you. So once you log in, and again, if I'm going too fast, just know that this is recorded and you can go back to and skip to a certain point. So once you log in, you can click on training. You can search for specific courses, learning paths, webinars. You can even, once you click courses, you can even type in a keyword and search for something specific. And these little icons down here in the bottom left of the tile will tell you if it's a course or a resource or a lesson plan and things like that. So when you have some time, the education.microsoft.com website, oh, that I misspelled, is a great place to peruse when you have time. Just get lost in there and explore and click around. Again, I always recommend, there's an awesome dyslexia training that they've now made into 2 parts. Definitely recommend. So lots of great, well worth your time resources in there. So I'm going to jump back to the PowerPoint. So once you have those 2 courses or those 1,000 credits, you can then move into that opportunity for an MIE Expert, which is the Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert. So what you'll see on this screen is just some words and phrases that describe what an MIE expert is. And I know by all of you showing up today and being here and spending 30 minutes of your time after your work hours, after you've worked all day, I know that all of these or some of these definitely apply to each and every one of you that are here. So take just a sec to kind of look over this list and see if any of them resonate with you. And if you want to stick any word or phrase that stands out to you in the chat, feel free. I'd love to hear and see kind of what everybody's thinking and what has drawn them to want to be here and learn more about this amazing program. And again, if anybody's tweeting, wants to share on Twitter, feel free to tag me, use our hashtag, kind of amp up. Awesome. Passionate, self-driven educator, inspire students, change agent, thought leader, self-paced learning. Very cool. Collaborative, self-driven. Passionate for sure. Critical thinking, collaboration. Those are all awesome words, and I'm glad that again you guys all chose to spend your evening here tonight. Yes, definitely love learning the latest and greatest tech tools for students. This is the community to be in for all of that. So the benefits, which a lot of you seem like you may know already, of becoming an MIE expert. So you have that access to professional development, those opportunities for certification, sharing your expertise. There's opportunities on our monthly calls where we have members from our cohort. This year we did, I think it was November, that our group presented, and we had, I think it was 4 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon that shared their experience as a way to represent our Florida cohort. So that was very, very awesome. And then also to help build that capacity, whether it's for your community, for your district, for your school, if you are training or presenting somewhere. It also gives you the ability to participate in focus groups. We're always getting notifications on any type of event that they may be looking for feedback on from educators to try, give feedback, and really kind of lend their voice. So kind of with that as well is testing new products. There's opportunities to, at conferences, when we get back into those in person, where you can sign up and present at their little demo training booth for a quick little segment. And then one of the great things too is that collaboration, and I know you guys all said it already, is that opportunity to have that on demand, at your fingertips ability to stick a question in the chat, and we have a Microsoft team of all of us together, and to stick a question in the chat and get it answered by people just like that is really amazing. I mean, it's often quicker than a Google search, and not even knowing what to look for, it's a great place to start. And then again, we do different regional events in our cohort. So again, when conferences are back in session in full time, post-COVID or however that may look. We do plan events where we get together as a just group of Florida, or if you're at conferences and you travel around, it's really great to network and see people that you only see virtual, and to really make that connection and see them in person. So also, the MIE Expert program has a llama as their mascot. You can jot down or take note of their Twitter chat or Twitter handle. So if you ever are tweeting and sharing any examples or photos or things that you're doing in your classroom using Microsoft technology, this is a great handle to tag, especially kind of up and coming as we're getting ready for this self-nomination. Twitter is also a great place if you've been posting things kind of as you have taught this year. Twitter is a great place to go back and look for those pictures if you may not know exactly where to find some evidence. And we'll talk more about that here. But so the llama, Flopsy the llama, is the MIE global mascot. And so, like I mentioned earlier, we've really been trying to brand our Florida cohort and kind of stand on our own as Florida down here. So we have taken that and we have created our logo for our cohort. This year we are cohort 9. Who knows what our number will be? Last year I think we were 7. It just kind of depends as the program grows, how they shift the different states around. So I see some great things happening in the chat. So again, this is what we have created this year, and we hope to continue to expand on it and maybe eventually create some swag and really kind of figuring that out. So we've tried to create our identity this year and working on some more merch as we continue. So we've talked about what an MIE is, what an MIE expert is. Now let's talk about the program and what benefits the program offers you as educators. So it's that global platform. So we have it is global, and then we also have a more focused US community as well that we do our monthly calls with and things like that, because obviously things are a little different in the US than they are in other spots. So again, it's a thriving community. It's continuing to grow and grow each year, which is super exciting. It's filled with educators that are passionate and like-minded, just like all of you here today, that are focused on learning, growing, and working together for the benefit of students. So let's take just a minute. I'm going to see if my bandwidth can withhold this, and I'm just going to play this video. It's a couple years old, but it still is good for the soul. So let me just play this and see if it'll work. And if you can't hear it, let me know in the chat.
There is a feeling of being valued and understood as an educator.
My vision of education is us learning together.
It's the idea that each day we come, whether you're in the nicest place or the hardest place.
My students benefit from whatever I learn on the global platform. We are able to break the barrier of cultural differences, of language differences, and we are able to reach out to each and everyone out there.
It's super important to bring in the world into our classroom and for us to come out in the world. And there are so many different ways we can do that.
The Microsoft Educator community has really helped to get all of the teachers on board for a common goal.
The MIE program gets you out of your comfort zone.
Every day is a day of learning for me.
We've been friends for long, and finally today I got to meet you face to face.
That's right.
This is magic.
I hope my students walk away from my classroom being citizens of the world. If you just have devotion, passion, and a bit of creativity.
Come on!
At the end of the day, it is about engagement.
I mean, there are endless possibilities.
There is a
So that little clip gets me every time. It gives me chills, and it's just because there's so many people that are smiling. And I'm just going to go back to that slide really quick. There's so many people that are smiling, and I know, especially after a year we've had this year, it's very, very I get it, like how it feels. And I mean, if you're in education, you know that it's sometimes hard to find that silver lining. But being a part of this community and really anytime you connect with them, like at conferences you saw when they all got together, it really just is a great way to reignite that passion that may sometimes your candle may dim a little bit. So it's just really great to have that support system to kind of amp you up when you need it, be there to support if you need to have something tested, if you need somebody to be a speaker in your classroom, throw it out there, and somebody's definitely going to be there to with open arms to help. So it's just a really great community to be a part of.
There is.
So just to give you an idea of how this community is continuing to grow, you can see geographically across the United States where we're spread out. And you can see us down at Florida at 91. You can see Georgia at 118. So we're definitely on their tails. And I'm excited to grow and to continue to just learn from each other and gain experience and just support one another along the way. So with these different communities, because they are spread out geographically, there are designated MIE fellows. And those are broken down into cohorts. And so I'm excited. This is my very first year being a MIE fellow, along with Lori, and then Paul and Michelle were fellows last year and are back this year as well. So it's been great to learn from them along the way. And so last year we were not on our own as a state. So this year we've branched off and we are our own MIE Florida community. So can't wait to see how these numbers change next year. So again, I had just mentioned myself, my name is Jenna Dawson. Paul, Michelle, and Lori are also MIE fellows. So if you want to take a minute to write down our Twitter handles, follow us on Twitter, tag us in some great things that you do. If you came tonight, if you plan to come tomorrow night, we're going to share some exciting things along the way too. So let's get into the self-nomination procedures. So now that I have sold you on what a great community this is, I know that you are all chomping at the bit and wanting to know, how do I get in? How do I get in? So this year, the process is different. So if you have done an application in the past, if you are a current MIE expert, the process is a little bit different this year, and they have worked to really streamline it to make it easier for all. So these are two important things that you want to write down. If you are not writing down anything at all, this is something you want to take a picture of, screenshot, write these things down. These are the dates for the nomination window. So May 6th, this link below, so the aka.ms/MIE nomination. And if somebody would be so kind and help me and stick that in the chat, this is the link that you're going to go to complete the self-nomination. Now, the way it looks now is going to change on May 6th. So on May 6th, the application window will go live. So again, what you see now will be different. And then on May 6th, it will go live. You have until July 15th, and it is midnight Pacific time. So us here in Florida actually get 3 extra hours because of that time difference. So if you're up at 3 a.m. on July 16th, that is technically your deadline, but that would be cutting it really close. So July 15th, midnight, let's say, is your deadline, and then there is the website at the bottom, and I'll share that again with you here at the end. And there's going to be more information. We're going to be sharing things all next month, so keep an eye on Twitter, follow that hashtag, and yeah. So those changes that I was talking about, this year, all nominees will complete the same process. So if you're new here, in years prior, new MIE experts had one kind of self-nomination, and if you were a returning MIE expert, you had a little bit of a different. So this year, it's all the same. Ready And this year, we will not be creating a sway if you are filling out the MIE Expert application. So in previous years, you created a sway and submitted the link. This year, you won't be doing a sway. Instead, you're going to be answering some questions, and it's going to be more text-based. So you'll have to write out some of those answers, and I'm going to give you, they shared with us some question types, so I'm going to share those with you so you can see those. So again, it'll be that, that question type, and you'll have to provide some links to some evidence and things like that. So if you are a returning MIE expert, this is the only thing that, or one of the things that's going to be different for you. And the way they're going to set this application up is that it's going to use artificial intelligence. So it's going to use AI to help kind of delineate the different questions for the different audiences. And so this is a question, if you are a returning MIE expert, you're going to have to be prepared to describe how you have contributed to the MIE expert community, to support other MIE experts and growth of your colleagues. So if you shared this event, that's a great tip. If you are a new MIE expert, this would be a great thing to capture that you attended. So just, something to keep in mind. And I have this information shared in the resource at the end. So here is an example, and these are subject to change. They just shared this on our last MIE expert call. So these are some questions that you may anticipate seeing on that application. So it'll start to get you prepared. You can start thinking ahead or start to organize and collect some resources to get you prepared for that May 6th to July 15th application window. So I did put this PowerPoint in the if you're in our Microsoft team, if you are a current MIE expert, it's in the files section. Just try not to, I don't think I changed the permissions to not allow editing. So just be very careful not to edit it. So if people come in and look, and I'll try to update those. So I'll continue to share these. We'll continue to share information throughout May on all these great questions and how you can, for some tips for answering them along the way. So on that note, I'm going to jump to resources and support. So just a few things. I have created a quick bit.ly. It is a Wakelet that will have some different resources on there. This is something that I'll continue to add to. So I'll add the recording of this call there. I'll add some other things as we go through the Twitter chat and things like that. But the website to apply is there. I can put the, I'll add the questions there as well. So bookmark this, write it down. It is case sensitive, and this has some resources for you, some things we talked about. I'll continue to add some things there. So check this out over the next couple days, and you'll see some additional pieces added. So I mentioned this earlier, but tomorrow we're having a Twitter chat. If you can't participate live, you can schedule your questions so it looks like you're there live, or if you just want to prepare your answers ahead of time, you can use a website called TweetDeck, and it's very, very simple. You just log in to connect your Twitter account. And then you can schedule your tweets for what date and time. And on the next slide, I'm going to show you the actual questions and the times that they're going to be released. So we'll share this on social media as well. But just a fun way to participate if you haven't done a Twitter chat, or if you had somebody that couldn't come today. This is something new we're trying out this time around, so we'll see how it goes. But again, a quick just 30 minutes just to jump on and connect in a different way. So you would just jump on, introduce yourself. There's 2 questions, and then we're going to have a GIF. I always get that mixed up with GIF peanut butter. So GIF dance party. So all you have to do is utilize the Twitter, the hashtag to kind of answer the questions to stay in that conversation. And I'll be sending another email if you are an MIE expert already out, so you can forward that on and share that as well. So just trying to innovate and pivot and change a little bit and make it exciting for you guys. So the last thing I have, I know I'm like 1 minute over when I said I would be, but I talked about how you would need to get those points in courses. So I know we just met for 30 minutes, but I have a quick achievement code that will help kind of get you started on your way to becoming an MIE if you're not already. And so I'll put this in the chat, but I just want to show you how to redeem this code. So all you do is go back to that education.microsoft.com. You probably are already logged in. Again, you can watch this on the recording. You can snap a picture. And then you're going to go to the top right corner once you are logged in and click on it. And you'll see an option for redeem achievement code. So you can type in this code and it will say that you will have that badge redeemed, and you may see it the next time you log in. It sometimes takes a little bit to generate, but hopefully you'll get some type of notification to give you some points to get on your way to becoming an MIE. And I see somebody asked in the chat, how do we get access to the team? So once you become an MIE expert, you get added to that team. So once you get that confirmation that you've been accepted, Robin Rivnats and Jennifer Mitchell are the ones who run it, and they add everybody to the team and do all of that stuff. So it's kind of like that cohort. Once you get accepted, you get added to the team. So if you are a current MIE expert, you should have access already. So I will put this back up in just a second, but I wanted to just take this opportunity. If you had any questions, if you would go ahead and stick those in the chat. I'm not sure how many of us there are, so it would just be easier, I think, for me to answer questions if you stick those in the chat. But again, my name is Jenna Dawson. I am so happy that you guys took your 30 minutes out of your time to spend with us and learn a little bit more about this community. Hopefully this was helpful. Reach out to me on social media, or I can share my email, or stick around and I'll answer any other questions that you may have. And hopefully we see you guys on Twitter tomorrow night.
Hey, Jenna, can you
Yes.
share your screen and show how they can view how many badges and points they have in the MEC already?
Yes. So you should be able to click on your photo and go under Profile. And then here it will show you completed at the top. So you can see all of the different badges. Some may be missing if there's not a designated badge to it, but it'll give you that credit. So you can see I've done a lot over the years. So all of your MIE Expert badges will be housed here. And then if you want to export your data at the bottom or at the very top, you can also view a transcript, which will give you like an entire list of all of the things that you have taken.
The question is, can you repeat what you said about the minimum points?
Yes, let me go back to that slide so you have a visual in case you want a screenshot. So 1,000 points to be an MIE, which is equivalent to 2 hours. So it's usually 2 courses, or sometimes one course might be worth 1,000 points. A lot of times that recommended time, sometimes it'll take you less than that as well. So you just make sure you take those quizzes at the end and you pass them to get that credit. So someone asked about, did they say how many questions will be there and what they will be judging on? So they don't share like a rubric or anything like that. I don't believe they have I don't think they have in the past. And again, this year, it seems like it is different. So I am not even sure, like I can't even say, oh, this is how it was last year, because it seems like it's going to be different. But they did share these 5 questions along with that other one for the returning MIE. They did say that they were subject to change, so they could be different, but this is just giving you kind of an idea. So if you need to start collecting pictures, or you see question 3 is you need a link. So you got to think about logistics. Like I know for me in my district, I can save files in my OneDrive, but I can't send them outside of my district with that link. So I need to think of an alternative. So just start thinking of those logistics about what kind of evidence you need to submit, and just start getting it organized in whatever kind of workflow works best for you.
So a few questions again: minimum number of courses, minimum number of points. So if you want to show that slide again with the 1,000, and if you're someone, Ellen, you're saying, what if your certificates are not showing on your profile? How do you get them? You might want to check your profile email to see that you're logging into the Microsoft Education Center with the correct email address. Because what happens is you may be using like a different Microsoft email or different email to get into the MEC that and the credit is on a different account. So if you're not seeing it on your current account and you know that you've done it, you may want to try another account.
Yeah, and if you do find out
that profile that you logged in with.
And if you do find out you have 2 accounts somewhere, you can email them and they should be able to merge those accounts if you have stuff going on in both places.
Yep.
I see that, oh, somebody said a good thing I want to make sure I say. Okay, so about if you're not sure about points or badges or anything like that, you can click on the transcript option in the top right-hand corner of the MEC to see that. Heather said Wakelet works great to submit too. I didn't even think of that. So upload your files to Wakelet and then share those outside of your tenant or externally. That's a great idea. I might actually have to use that. So for returning MIEs, is there a certain number of activities that we must complete? They haven't said anything about that. Again, I would really pay attention to some of the information that's going to come out in May. Flopsy's going to be sharing tips. Michelle's going to be sharing some tips from our group too. So we will continue to share out that information on social media and all of that kind of great things too. So for it, okay, so good question. I understand the minimum for MIE. What about MIEE? So in order to be an MIE expert, you need to be an MIE. So basically it's the same. You need that 1,000 points. And once you get that 1,000 points in 2 hours, it should generate this badge for you in the MEC. So once you see this, then you know that you're good to go. And then you can go ahead and fill out the stuff for the MIE expert stuff. So you just have to be an MIE in order to be an MIE expert. And then somebody shared the Wakelet. Perfect. I'll go back to, if there's any slide you need me to go to, so if you didn't get this redemption code, make sure you grab that. That will help get you on your way. It's a 30 minutes, so I'm not sure if it gives you like 250. I'll have to redeem it and see. So if you guys don't have any other questions, thank you so much for joining, and we really appreciate you spending your evening, and hopefully we'll see you guys on Twitter tomorrow night. Have a great evening. And then Michelle, I don't know if you're able to stop recording. Same time tomorrow, 6 o'clock to 6:30. Let me post,